Alright guys, I got another video for you. Today we are doing some CyberQuest stuff. It's something that goes with the Lockheed Martin competition that's coming up. I'm going to be going over some of the questions from their last year event that they had called Code Quest. This year is called CyberQuest. Here they have a big packet of problems. We're going over the first problem. This problem was worth 5 points on their test. And let's go ahead and get started. So I've got a link there. It's going to be also in Schoology. You click on it, takes you to the assignment. Hopefully you can get there. Your replit should look like that. I'll probably give you guys access to these, and I'll probably type out more of them for you. But here we go. Your friend was clowning around earlier and stuck a program on your computer that keeps adding the name Nimo at random in your emails. You don't want to confuse everyone you're talking to with the amount of work you've got. It's important you just keep typing. Unfortunately, you can't figure out how your friend installed his little virus. So you think you need to write a program to find all of the Nimos he's added. Your program will integrate with the email application on your computer to prevent any embarrassing messages from being sent out. It will scan each sentence in your email and report the position of the word Nimo within the sentence. Each test case will include a single line with a sentence. Each test case will include a single line with a sentence that includes the word Nimo exactly once. Each line will consist only of letters and spaces. So what's going to happen is they're going to give you 3 sentences or more, and in each one of those sentences the word Nimo is going to be in there, and you're going to have to tell you're going to have to output what position Nimo is in. So the first one here is I found Nimo. So I is in the 1 position, found is in the 2 position, and 3 is Nimo. That's just how they're counting. So it says right here, it says for each test case your program must print the position of the word Nimo within the given sentence where the first word is +1. So the first one here is I, and that would be 1, 2, and 3. So Nimo in this case was in the 3rd position, so that's why it printed out a 3. On the second one, Nimo is in the 1st position, so it printed out a 1. And then on the 3rd one, the Nimo was in the 5th position, so I think poor old Nimo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. All right, so you're going to have to create a program that will read sentences, and then after each sentence, it will print out where the location of Nimo is. So that's your assignment for this one. Let's go ahead and get started on that. So down here, there's 2 really useful links that you're going to need to do this. Count and find. I'm not going to go to those links, but you can click them and go there if you'd like to learn how to do that, to use those 2 things. I've also noticed that some of you guys like to skip forward in my videos. That's fine, but I highly recommend listening to the things that I'm saying because they will help you actually learn how to do this part. Alright, so I re-put the instructions right here for you to read, but it's exactly what I just read above. The first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to have a sentence. So I'm going to say sentence, and I'll say sentence 1. And I'm going to just use that same sentence here, I found Nimo. So there is my sentence. First sentence. Okay, so what is our objective? We need to figure out where Nimo is. Where is he at in this sentence here? So let's take a, you know what, maybe we will take a look at this find thing. So I'll grab this find. And let's go take a look at what this link has here. So if I go to this web page, it says find the Python string find method, and then it says where is the text welcome. So this is basically what we're doing. We're looking for the word Nimo. They're looking for the word welcome. It's got some text, and then if we try it for ourselves, they have their text. They use x is equal to text.find. And then they just print it out. So if I click run, Sometimes these things take a little bit, but it prints out 7. It's in the 7th spot. So 0, so this is how it looks for this to run. Okay, so it looks something like that. We're going to test this on ours. You can read right here, and you'll see this start and end here. Very useful stuff to look at. All right, let's try this on here. So I'm just going to say print. I want to go to sentence 1, and I want to find, what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for Nemo. You're going to want to make sure that you capitalize and spell it exactly the same. But if I do that, and then I hit run, let's see what comes up. If I hit run, you can see, I'm going to make this big screen here. I got 8. Now, what does that 8 mean? Where is this 8 coming from? Well, this should be something you guys recognize. I like to put this on all the stuff that I do. So I'll say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Then we have 10 and 11. So I'll just start over like that. So we have 10. This 0, 1 is 10 and then 11 here. All right. So it says that Nemo is in the 8th position. We know that I starts out at 0. This is the same. This is just like counting in a list. We just did that recently with our last semester test, and really we do it all the time, but it's the same thing with strings here. Okay, so that means we found Nemo at position 8, and it tells you where the start of the Nemo is. So there it is right there. All right, so if we wanted to print the entire word Nemo, we could do that as well. We could say sentence, and then we could do square brackets, and it says it starts at 8, so I could say go to 8, and hopefully you guys remember this. I'm going to use this colon, and I want to go all the way to the end, but basically this one's at spot 11, or you could say 12. So this should print Nemo. So it's saying start at the 8 position and go all the way to the 12 position, which is right there. So if I run that, you can see I'm printing the word Nemo. Now, that's perfect. We do need to know where Nemo starts. He starts at 8, right there. He starts at 8. So that means we need to know what position he is in this sentence. How does this location of me knowing where Nemo is at, how is that going to help me figure out how many words come before Nemo? Well, what I can do is I can count or use the path in front of it, and we can just look at that string. For example, on these other ones here, like say this one, Nemo is in the center, and in order to figure out where it's at, we don't care about what's at the end. It doesn't matter how long the sentence is. We only need to know how many things are in front of it. So we need to check the very start of the sentence to see how many words there are before Nemo. All right, so Nemo starts at 8. So let's do this. Let's say print, and we will say this is what comes before Nemo. So if I take sentence 1, and I want to, let's start at the very beginning so we can leave this first one blank, and then we know that the ending is that number 8 right there. So I could say 8 right there. Now I hit run, and you're going to see I and found. I've got 2 words there. Now we need to count the number of words. Right here, this 8, how do we know where this 8 is located? How do we know 8 instead of just typing the word 8? Well, we can use that right there. This thing, this 8, is also find Nemo. So this tells me, so instead of typing 8 like that, I'm going to use this right here, because this also outputs 8. It tells me where Nemo started. So right there. So sentence 1, where does Nemo start? and tell me what's at the front. So let's see what that does. It hits run. It does exactly the same thing because this outputs 8. This outputs the start of the word Nemo. So this is going to say, hey, Nemo starts right here at 8. All right, let me comment out this one, and let me comment out this one now. So now all we're going to have is just the stuff in front of Nemo. So if I hit run, I and found. Okay, now you and I both know that when we're looking at that, that's 2 words because I can see and count. Oh, there's a word, and there's a word. How do we know there's 2 words there? Well, there's lots of ways. We know how to read. We can see that. But what is something unique about this? It's basically how many words are going to be there. Well, if you look at every sentence, for each word, there is a space. Here's a space. So that 4 has a sentence. So like that's a sentence right here. This is a big long sentence. And in between every single word, we have a space. They're all divided by spaces. It's all separated by spaces right there. So if we do this one here, we only have 1 and 2 spaces. We have 2 spaces, but we have 3 words. This one has 2 spaces and 3 words. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 spaces and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 words. So for every space, for each space plus 1 is how many words. So the first word here doesn't have a space, but we can assume that it starts off with a word. So we could say we can basically count the number of spaces that are in this part here. And then that will tell us how many words if we add 1. So how can we do that? Let's check out this count feature here. Let's try this. I'll take you to this place right quick. So I'll go to here. Return the number of times the value cherry appears. So this is going to count the number of cherries in this. You can also do the same thing in a sentence. So basically you're using count and you want to see how many times something appears. The thing that we're looking for is cherry. But over here we're going to look for spaces. So let's take, I'll start off with just sentence 1. And I'll say print. This is how many spaces are in sentence 1. And then I can even say something like this, comma, sentence 1, dot count. And what do we want to count? We want to count the spaces. So I just put a space there. All right, so if I hit run on this, you're going to see this is how many spaces are in sentence 1. And looky there, it says 2. So it counted the number of spaces. I could have counted the number of O's. I could have said, hey, how many O's are there in there? Looks like a 0. How many O's are in there? And it's still going to say 2. I could say how many I's are in this, and it's going to say there's only 1 I. But we're looking for the spaces. We want to know how many spaces. This returns how many spaces there are. All right. So this is going to tell us how many spaces there are in a sentence. All right, the part that we want to search is right here. We want to search from the very beginning all the way to where Nemo is. So this is what comes before Nemo. We need to know how many words are before Nemo. All right, so this part right here, this is what comes before Nemo, and we need to know how many words are before Nemo. Are before Nemo. There we go. All right, let's give this a shot. Let's see if we can just count those spaces that are before Nemo. So this part right here, this is the part before Nemo. So I'll say print. This is how many words come before Nemo. And I'll say comma this. So this is finding this right here. It says go to the sentence and start at the beginning of the sentence and tell me where Nemo is. So that's going to print out that beginning section of Nemo. And we want to count the number of spaces. So this is going to tell me how many words are before Nemo. So based upon how many spaces there are. Uh-oh, what did I do? Square bracket. I'm missing another one. Oh, square bracket at the end. All right, here we go. Run. And of course, count. What did I do wrong? Oh, I love it when I make a mistake in the middle of doing teaching thing. Oh, the square bracket should go here and not over there. There we go. All right, same thing. Here we go. Let me clear all this garbage. Run. What? Slice indicates sentence. Oh. I'm dumb. Right here. Square bracket goes there. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this is the part in front. You could have just looked right there. I probably just missed the thing. Okay, so this is the part in front of Nemo, and then we are counting the number of spaces. So if I hit run, it says this is how many words come before Nemo, 2. And then you could even say comes before Nemo based on spaces. All right. So that's a little bit more accurate. This is how many words come before Nemo based on spaces, 2. And after this, you're going to want to add 1 to make sure you get that 3. So let me pull up this here, or we can just scroll up a little bit. The output for the first one was 3 because Nemo was the third word. And we said here there are 2 words before. This is how many words are before Nemo on the first one, 2. So basically here we need to add 1 more because Nemo is the next word. All right, so we did all of this inside of sentence 1. Let me comment out this one and this one. And instead of the sentence 1 being I found Nemo, let's come up here and replace it with, let's use the second one. On this one here, we are not adding 1, so it'll probably return 0, but let's find out. So I'm going to take this. Nemo found me, and if I hit run, this is how many words come before Nemo, 0. So to get our correct answer, we're going to want to add 1 to that. So print, and I will say Nemo is in position. And how am I going to find that? Or maybe in position. Yeah, let's leave it like that. And let me grab this whole thing right here. And I will say comma plus 1. So we're basically just adding 1 because Nemo's the next word. This is the location of Nemo in a sentence. Like that. So if I hit run, it says Nemo is in position 1. That's correct. This is how many words come before Nemo, 0, based on spaces. So you can kind of see how I kind of walked through it one thing at a time to get to where I'm at. All right, let's go to the very next one here. Let's grab this word here. Let's grab this sentence. So this is sentence 3. So if I grab and drop sentence 3 in there, before you even run it, you can count and see. So I got 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, 4 words in front of it with 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So when it counts, if it was doing this one right here, it would come up with 4. And then this one would say, okay, there are 4 words based on spaces in front of us. And then this one's going to say, all right, Nemo is in position. And then this part would do 4. And then we added 1, so it would be 5. Let's see if it runs correctly. So I hit run. Nemo is in position 5. Okay, I'm going to slow down a little bit because I kind of ran through that really quick. But I'm gonna review a little bit of what I did. Let's take a look at right here, this guy. Let's look at this one here. So on this sentence, I want you to think what is going to get returned here and why. So right here from 8 to 12, that is saying I want you to print out starting at 8 all the way to 12. That means it's going to print out the word pour, P-O-O-R, starting from 8 to 12. This one is saying start at the very beginning and go where. It's going to where we found Nemo, and Nemo is in this position here. So it's going to say, it's going to want this entire thing here. So one of them, this one here will print out pour, and this one is going to print out everything in front of Nemo. So essentially you're kind of slicing the sentence into parts. Let me close this. So here we go, run. You see the word pour, like I said, this one from 8 to 12, this is pour. But we don't care about that. I was just kind of showing you how the slice works here. On the second one it says, I want you to go from the very beginning, that's what that blank means, and then all the way to where was Nemo found, right there. So from the very beginning all the way to where Nemo was found, we printed out this sentence. All right, now let's take a look at the next one. So if I unlock this next one, it says this is how many spaces are in sentence 1. All right, so sentence 1, this is the entire sentence, because we're not using this little slice this time. This is literally saying the entire sentence. How many spaces are there? So it should say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I hit run on that, there it is. There are 6 spaces in the entire sentence. We don't care about all of the spaces. We only care about the spaces that are from the very beginning, from I think poor old. So this part right here, look where I'm highlighting. Go from sentence 1 and start at the very beginning and go to where we find Nemo. That is basically this guy right here. This is saying use only this part. As you're using only this part right here, count the number of spaces. So this one here, my line 40, counts the entire sentence's spaces. This one, line 41, counts only the spaces in front of Nemo. All right, so you're going to get a different set of spaces. Let's see what this says. This is how many words come before Nemo based on spaces. So there are 4 words before Nemo. And as you see right there, next we want to know, okay, now we need to know Nemo's position based upon the number of spaces plus 1, because Nemo is one, he's another word or another position. All right, so let's do this last one here. So pour was the first one. And then anyway, we go all the way down here. So based on spaces, we got 4. And Nemo is in position 5 because we added 1 more right there. All right, so that's the basic premise for how it works. Now, in their assignment, in their CodeQuest challenge thing that they had, they said, hey, we're going to give you 3 sentences. 1, 2, 3. And we want you to do, we want to know which one for each one. Golly, this video is really long. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and finish this last part up. So let's make 3 sentences. So I've got sentence 1, sentence 2, sentence 3. let me do here. I'm going to grab all these sentences. Sentence 1, sentence 2, and sentence 3. All right. And I'm just doing this to get the information set up correctly. So we'll say sentence 1, sentence 2, sentence 3. Like that. All right, now we want to run this program here, or this little script, on each one of those sentences. So I'll say for data in data package. What do we want to do? Well, we basically just want to print out our little gizmo here that we made. Nemo is in position, this position. Now, the way a for loop works is it works once on each item in the list. So we don't want to use sentence 1 over and over again. We want to use data, because these are all of the sentences packed into my data package. So you can see I use the variable data. So instead of using sentence 1, I will say data, and I will say data. All right, now let's hit run, and you'll see that it's telling me Nemo is in position 3, Nemo is in position 1, and then Nemo is in position 5. So 3, 1, and then 5. All right, that is how, oh, I don't want that. That is how they came up with this answer here, 315. They obviously didn't type Nemo is in position and a colon and all that. They just wanted 315. So if you actually did compete at their deal, they're only going to want 315. But this is an example of how to do their assignment, and what I want for you to turn in is this stuff. What I want you to learn from this is how to use count and how to use find, and that's pretty much the end of it. This video is long. Sorry for the long video. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.